Inequalities are favorite subject in the GMAT, especially in data sufficiency. Learn to approach inequality problems with smart strategies and tips. Welcome to the land of inequalities. The first stage is tutorial. Are you ready? I've already covered the basic inequalities video, so if you haven't watched it, check it out in YouTube card and description. Inequality signs like greater than or less than always change in direction when multiplied by negative numbers. So if you are given an inequality with variables involved, never ever just multiply variables. You don't know if the variables are positive or negative. Only when you are 100% certain that the given variables are positive, you can multiply or divide these variables in inequality. Of course, you can add or subtract variables, as adding or subtracting does not affect the sign direction. Another thing is that when the direction of the sign is different for two inequalities, you can add or subtract these two inequalities only when the signs are in the same direction. For example, let's say you have the following inequality. You cannot add these inequalities because the direction of the sign is different. Modify one of these inequalities so that the direction is the same for the two inequalities. Let's change the second inequality. If you subtract both sides by x, you end up with 0 less than minus 1 minus x. Now this is the same as minus x minus 1 greater than 0. Since the direction of the inequalities are the same, you can add these two inequalities. Adding together, we have 3x plus 1 greater than 0. Not too hard, right? The third point is, when there are two variables involved in an inequality, try to solve the inequality problem from the perspective of number 0. For example, if you have x greater than minus y, rewrite the equation so that 0 is on one side of the inequality. X greater than minus y is the same as x plus y greater than 0. This rewriting inequality will help a lot when you solve data sufficiency problems. Remembering these 3 points, let us solve the GMAT level problems. This stage is a 450 level question. Let's go for it. Pause the video for a moment and try to solve it. If k is greater than 0, is k over m greater than k? Statement 1, m is between 0 and 2, exclusive. Statement 2, m is between 0 and 1, exclusive. We are given that k is greater than 0, but we don't know the value of m. The value of m can be either positive or negative. For statement 1, m is greater than 0 and less than 2. There are several ways to check this statement's data sufficiency. For traditional problem solving, you can rewrite this inequality so that 0 is on one side of the inequality. But for the sake of simplicity, let us approach this problem by thinking logically. If m is greater than 0 and less than 2, then we have two situations. First situation is when m is between 0 and 1. If m is between 0 and 1, then it is a fraction. We know that any number divided by positive decimal number, like 0.3 or 0.5, will result in greater number. So if m is between 0 and 1, k over m will be greater than k. But if m is between 1 and 2, k over m will be smaller than k. Since we have multiple results, statement 1 alone is not sufficient. Eliminate a and d. What about statement 2? We are given that m is greater than 0 and less than 1. As I have mentioned just before, dividing a number by a positive decimal number will make the number greater. Therefore, we can answer with confidence that regardless of values of k over m greater than k holds true. Statement 2 alone is sufficient. Therefore, the final answer is B. Good job! Now let us move on to the next stage. This one is a 550 level question. Pause the video and try to solve this problem. If a and b are integers and a is greater than 0, is b greater than 0? Statement 1, minus a is larger than b. Statement 2, 4a minus 3b is greater than 0. Statement 1 has minus a is larger than b. Let's rewrite this inequality. We have 0 is larger than a plus b, or it is a plus b greater than 0. When a is equal to 1 and b is equal to 1, the equation becomes 1 plus 1 greater than 0. And this statement holds true because 2 is greater than 0. When a is equal to 2 and b is equal to 1, the equation becomes 2 plus 1 greater than 0. And this statement holds true. Since multiple answers are possible, statement 1 alone is not sufficient. Eliminate a and d. For statement 2, 4a minus 3b greater than 0, when a is equal to 1 and b is equal to minus 1, the equation becomes 4 times 1 minus 3 times minus 1 greater than 0, which is equal to 4 plus 3 greater than 0. And this statement holds true because 7 is greater than 0. Since b, which is minus 1, is not greater than 0, we can answer no to the question. When a is equal to 1 and b is equal to 1, the equation becomes 4 times 1 minus 3 times 1 is greater than 0. And it becomes 4 minus 3 greater than 0, which is 1 greater than 0. This statement holds true. Since b, which is equal to 1, is greater than 0, we can answer yes to the question. Since both the conditions differ, statement 2 alone is not sufficient. Now here's an alternative solution. Let me show you another way to solve it. When a is equal to 1 and b is equal to 1, the equation becomes 4 times 1 minus 3 times 1 is greater than 0, and it becomes 4 minus 3 greater than 0, which is 1 greater than 0. This statement holds true. When a is equal to 1 and b is equal to 2, the equation becomes 4 times 1 minus 3 times 2 greater than 0. Now this is equal to 4 minus 6 greater than 0, and it becomes minus 2 is greater than 0, which is not true. The value of b was greater than 0 in both situations, but we have different situations, so statement 2 alone is not sufficient. Whichever approach you take, make sure that only one case is possible with the statement. You should be able to answer all yes or all no. If there are multiple conditions or multiple possibilities, then it is not sufficient. Eliminate b. What if we have both statements? From both inequalities, rewrite one of the inequalities so that the sign directions are the same. Let's rewrite the first one. We have 0 is larger than a plus b, or a plus b is greater than 0. Now that the direction of the notation is the same, add these inequalities. Then we have 5a minus 2b is greater than 0. With 5a minus 2b greater than 0, we can see that the variable b still can be greater than or larger than 0. There are multiple possible answers, so both statements together are not sufficient. Eliminate c. Therefore, the final answer is E. Always answer E only when you are confident with your logical thinking. Don't answer E just because it seemed like it. Congratulations, you cleared the Inequalities map. So remember 3 points. 1. Do not multiply or divide variables in inequalities unless you are told that these variables are positive. 2. If you want to add two inequalities, make sure that the sign directions are the same. 3. If there are more than one variable in an inequality, rewrite the inequality so that 0 is on one side. That will help your problem solving and logical thinking in data sufficiency. Please don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and good luck with mastering the inequalities.